Okay, so that was an adventure. So one, I apologize for this getting out a little bit later. So specifically for my members, I wanted to get this out earlier than it's going out right now. But when I went back to check the audio or to get everything edited together, my microphone just completely died on me. So it was just having this weird like beeping sound the whole time, and I couldn't figure out a way to fix that. So it is what it is. I guess doing this all over again. I apologize to MacDev and Planet Eclipse. I'd done they did a whole breakdown of the MacDev GT2 as well as the Planet Eclipse CS3. So I apologize to them. Maybe sometime next season I can have them do something like that again, but we'll just have to see. So what I wanted to do was first say thank you to everyone that said hi. Thank you so much for that. Appreciate all the support, guys. Yeah, so there goes another season, right? Like that's just kind of seems like, oh wow, like we're already almost to 2023 now, another month, and 2022 is gone. So I did want to just thank you guys again. Just thank you. I appreciate all your support. Just want to set the record straight too. Some people think that I'm leaving paintball. Like this channel isn't going anywhere, and I'm not done playing paintball. Like that's something that's always going to be a part of my life. It's just the plan is just to be done with pro. So that's what the plan is. So yeah, so like I'm not going anywhere, don't worry. So what I wanted to do was talk about kind of the good, bad, and ugly of the event, just kind of my take on some things. I did it literally right after we got done. Like I was getting back in the car and did it there, and then of course, like I said, my microphone just decided not to work. So it is what it is. So that being said, let's start with some of the good. So the venue is always a great place. I think it being right across the street from Disney is fantastic, right off of I-4. So it's close enough to the Orlando airport as well as Tampa. Tampa is like an hour, and actually no, it might be about an hour, maybe an hour and a half drive. So it's not terrible. I actually prefer the Tampa airport whenever I can fly out of there, but that's just me. So it's good that you have a couple options where you can fly into. You could even fly into Sarasota, I guess. It's just gonna be a little bit of a drive, but there's a couple options for different teams. There's also a lot of places to stay, so you have a lot of options with that. There's nothing that the league can do about the storm. You can't foresee the future. Like when they set these dates, it was last year. Like it's not going to be something that they can foresee. I want to give a huge shout out to the NXL for the way that they handled everything. Would I have liked to have had the brackets and schedule all set already? Yeah, of course I would have. It's just one of those things that it's out of their hands. They did a great job. Just the fact that when I got to the venue, I already had put my backpack straps on for the gear bag. Didn't even need it the whole weekend. There was 2 or 3 sections that were muddy, and most of those, it was just like a little section. You just go right over it and you're good. So the fact that they were pumping out water, that the fields were still in pretty good condition, all of that, huge shout out to the NXL for that. Also the fact that everyone was just on board. I felt like everyone had a pretty good attitude. I mean, no one wants to have early games, but I think everyone kind of understood. So just the vibe was really great. Also, the weather held out after that pretty much all weekend. There was one time that it kind of stormed a little bit, but I mean, it was like, it's Florida weather, so it just rained real hard and then it stopped. I think it did that twice, and then there was some other times that it drizzled a little bit. But other than that, like you can't ask for better weather. So that was really great for not having to like die in a bunch of humidity like Florida usually is. Let's see. And of course, the good, like I already said, is being able to see you guys that came up and said hi. Thank you again for that. All right, so some of the bad though. So I realize that this is probably going to be something that is rolling over to the NXL needing to do this as a necessary kind of evil. Parking was terrible. My wife drove around the parking lot for an hour, she said. There was a friend of mine that drove wanted to surprise me to come and watch, and gave up after a while and then drove back to Lakeland. So, I mean, I get that they had to change all the schedules and make it where it was something that, okay, everyone needs to just kind of, I don't know if they should have, it was just weird that they sent out that message on Instagram or on Facebook that just said like, oh, by the way, you can park over here in Uber. It's like, what? Like, so I don't know. I don't know if they need to, I don't even know how you fix that, honestly. So it's kind of a gripe without a solution. But just the fact that it was like Saturday was terrible. The only reason that I got parking was because my matches were early, so I got there real early. But then when my wife showed up later, and my parents and my mother-in-law, it was just like they just drove around forever. So it's not a good situation. So I don't know if they need to have some sort of contingency in for that kind of stuff. I don't know. I have no idea. Like, it was great that the parking lot was packed. That just means that there's a lot of people playing paintball and watching paintball, but I just, it was not a fun situation for that. And then Sunday, there was a bunch of, like, I had to park across the street. Like, I was like, all right, well, I'm going to sleep a little bit. I didn't get there for the first game at like 7. And by the time that we got there, it was just like, yeah, I had to park like across the street in the grass. I drive a Hyundai, so like if I got stuck, it was not going to be good. I don't have 4-wheel drive, so it's not the best situation for that. I don't want to be that guy that's like, oh, well, the refs were terrible. We did have a run-in with I won't say what team, but you guys saw it in the vlog. But it's tough when it's just like blatant cheating, and I'm like, guys, I don't know how you don't see that. There's some guys that are very good at cheating, but when it happens a couple times, I'm pretty sure one of the guys on the Dorito side, when I shot them, did it twice. And I'm just like, how are you getting away with this? Same thing where I just blatantly shoot a dude in the leg or in the foot. He's wearing orange cleats. Like, how do you not see the yellow, and then all of a sudden him tucking his leg in and then looking around? Like, it was just, yeah. So it is what it is. Sometimes you're going to have those bad calls. I think we got called out on rub on one of them. And it is what it is. Like, you can't complain about it, but I just don't know if there needs to be. It's really tough to say, because reffing is not easy. It's not something I've reffed before, and it's not something that is a good time. Just because you're running through paint, you're standing there all day. Like, it's not. You don't even get to shoot back. So I guess like, overall good job, but just like when there's those kinds of things, it's like, come on, guys. Yeah, of course, like, there's nothing the NXL can do with continuing with, I guess, the bad stuff. Nothing they can really do with the schedules. They did the best that they can. I did actually want to say a huge shout out to the youth division. That was really cool. There was 23 teams, I think. It started with like 8 and then grew. So that was really cool. It's like the next generation, right? So to see them progress like that is really awesome. And then also to shout out to the WNXL. I got to go and commentate at the premiere field for that. So that was cool. And just, I mean, more people getting into the sport is always a good thing. Trying to think of any other like negatives, and I mean, yeah, I can't really think of a lot. Like, overall, I think it was a very well run event, and yeah, I think overall I would give it like a B+ or like an A-. There's always room for improvement, I guess. If I had to give a grade, but yeah, so that was great. But again, huge shout out to all of you that said hi. I did want to give a shout out as well to AG Media. You want to make sure that you guys are subscribed and that you click the bell as well, so that way you're notified. He was filming all weekend for all of my matches. So there's some stuff that we're working on, or something that we're working on. So you have to keep an eye out for that. Really cool stuff. Thank you again to AG Media for that. And a huge shout out to Dai as well. Thank you so much to your guys' support. Please, guys, like, just go and like go shoot these different guns. Like, that's the cool thing, that now Dai has 3 different markers that you're able to it's all different shots. Like, you saw the DSL my gosh, sorry, DLS. With me shooting that, and then I've been using the DSR Plus and then the M3 Plus. Like, there's all these different shot signatures, so it's not like, oh well, if I only like this kind of a gun, it's because of this shot. No, there's 3 different markers that you can pick from that have different shots. So just a cool thing for that. But yeah, so thank you so much to Dye for all their support. Thank you again, huge shout out to Ruthless Factory for having me in, and yeah, just huge thank you to them, because it was last minute with that scheduling conflict is all I'm gonna say with the Saints. So for me to be able to still have a team and them take care of me and just treat me like family was really awesome. So yeah, but again, guys, I'm not leaving paintball. Like, you just won't see me at as many events probably, but it's just like I have two kids, like, yeah. Oh, speaking of which, Gel Blaster, I want to go buy some now that my son loves it, so just that's a different thing. But anyways, I'm rambling. I did want to do a like an Ask Me Anything, do a Q&A. So what I'm asking you guys is go ahead and put a question down in the comments down below, and then that way I'll pick out a couple. Maybe I'll even make it into 2 videos depending on how many questions we get. But put it down in the comments down below. My members are going to get first dibs, so for sure their questions are going to get put up to the top. But I want you guys to put whatever down in there. Obviously, just make sure that it's appropriate. Like, but it's one of those things that, yeah, let's do that. Next week, what I'll be doing is going through and doing a self-playing critique for the World Cup layout at practice, so that way you guys can see different things. So maybe you're playing that layout at another tournament later on, or whatever. You just want to kind of get in my head and see what I could have done differently, or what I did correctly, why I made moves, things like that. So be on the lookout for that. Like I said, AG Media, we have something cool coming up. So yeah, just guys, the future is just like foggy right now. I have no idea what's going to be happening. But one thing I do know, channel's not going anywhere. Just the plan is just to be done with pro. That's it. So thank you again, everyone, for all your support. And oh, I did want to give one last shout out. Thank you to Jay Torres. So he plays with Joy and gave me a jersey. So I appreciate that. Joy Division was one of I think it was my first favorite pro team, only because of the leopard print. The only reason. Like, I don't think I ever saw them play. It was just like, oh, that's really cool. So I'm holding on to this one. So that's a really cool thing. But yeah, so I'll see you all later. Please put those questions down in the comments down below. And as always, remember, watch, learn, win. Thanks.